Welcome to another video in the Freelancing Journey playlist. To follow the journey from the beginning, you can check the playlist that you can find in the more information icon up there on YouTube. Now that we are done with the recruitment process, the next step is to sign the freelancing contract. In the video today, I will share with you my experience with freelancing contracts and some important points you need to pay attention to before signing the contract. As I mentioned before, most of the time, the contract would be between the SAP consultant and the SAP recruitment company. Then there is another contract between the SAP recruitment company and the customer, but there is no direct link between the consultant and the customer. In some other cases, there can be a contract between the SAP consultant and the customer directly if there is no SAP recruiter involved, but this is a rare case. That didn't happen to me personally. So for me, always there has been an SAP recruiter in the middle, and always the contract was with the SAP recruiter. So this contract would mention the obligations on the consultant and on the recruitment company. So it would say, for example, that this person will work as an SAP consultant to deliver the different activities requested in the projects for the period of 6 months, and then the consultant is responsible for submitting a timesheet to the customer, getting an approval from the customer, and then submitting an invoice to the recruitment company, and only then the recruitment company would pay the consultant after a payment term. Here there are some important notes. First of all, sometimes we mention the customer name in the contract, and some other times we don't mention the customer name. I had both cases happening to me, and I never had any issues because of this. So if the customer name is not in the contract, I don't see if this can cause any risks. The second point is the payment term. Normally, the SAP recruiter would pay the SAP consultant after 2 months from submitting the invoice, 60 days. It can also be lower. So I had cases where I was paid after 45 days. In another project, I was paid after 30 days, but I know that this was a bad situation for the recruitment company because the SAP recruiters, they like to pay the consultants only after they are paid by the customer. And normally the payment term between the customer and the SAP recruiter is 30 days. So the SAP recruiter submits an invoice to the customer pays after 30 days, then the SAP recruiter pays the consultant after maybe another 30 days or maybe 15 days. So total is 45 or 60 days. And also in my experience, the SAP recruiters don't actually wait for the full payment term, but once they get paid by the customer, they do the payment to the consultant. So it is completely normal that you find the payment term in a freelancing contract to be of 60 days or 45 days. Another thing we mentioned in the contract is the notice period. So if the consultant wants to leave the project, he has to inform the customer and the recruitment company 2 weeks before. And if the customer or the recruitment company wants to end the project or the contract, then they have to inform the consultant 2 weeks before, for example. But anyway, from a real life experience, unfortunately, this notice period has no meaning at all. It doesn't give any assurance to the consultant or to the customer. So let's say, for example, the customer decides to end the project now because of any reason. Maybe the project has been cancelled, the area you are working on has been outscoped, or maybe they just decided to hire an internal resource and they don't want to continue with you as a freelance consultant. What they would do is they will stop approving timesheets. So even if you say there is a notice period between us, you should inform me 2 weeks before, and if they refuse to honor this agreement because they don't want you to pay you any more money, then they would stop to approve your timesheets. And here there is no legal obligation at all on either the SAP recruiter or the customer to pay you anything. So even though there is a notice period in the contract, it doesn't give any assurance to the consultant that the project cannot be terminated at any point of time like this. And this is the kind of risk the freelance consultants have to live with. Normally when we have high risk, we have high gain. This is why SAP consultants who work as freelancers are paid higher than when they work as full-time employees. Let me know what you think about these notes and if you would like to add anything. Also share with us your experiences if you ever faced any issues or challenges because of something that was written in your freelancing contract. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.